but it is a tremendous honor and privilege also to introduce to you the head basketball coach at the University of Missouri, Kim Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you. Took a long time to walk up those stairs. Took 15 years, and I'm excited to be here. I want to thank, first of all, everyone for being here. Just a tremendous, and I'll tell you right now, this will be hard for me, but I'm going to get through it. It's so great to see so many people here, and that means a lot to me. I want to, first of all, introduce my family. You've met my lovely wife, Melissa, my youngest son, Brett, my father, Keith, and my sister, Kathy. My oldest son, Ryan, is in Fargo, North Dakota. He works at North Dakota State University, and it does snow up there, and it is cold. Okay, so I'd like to introduce my family. I want to recognize my guys from the current team. I think anybody else here, any of the current players around? I know a lot of them had class today, but I certainly want to recognize them and tell them how excited I am to be working with them here in the future. Are there any former, I know there's some, any former Tigers in here? Basketball Tigers, huh? Loosen up, guys. Let's go. Stand up or wave. Do something. I want to thank the administration here at the University of Missouri, which, of course, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I want to thank Mike Alden, Deputy Chancellor Middleton, the search committee, and I know Chancellor Lofton had a previous engagement today, but I had the opportunity to visit with him the other day, and what a remarkable man. And I applaud all the work he's doing on our campus. I also want to thank our Assistant President, Dr. Tim Wolf, and the Board of Curators who have made this possible for me. I also want to thank my family at Central Missouri. All the players, President Ambrose, and Athletic Director Jerry Hughes for a great 12 years. I can't. Let me start out by saying this is my dream job. You all probably figured that out a long time ago. I'm Mizzou through and through. This is my home state. This is my alma mater, and I know how special this program is to so many people, and it holds that same significance to me. Our student athletes play with great pride and great intensity. We play with a team-oriented approach centered on defense. You might not like to hear that, guys. and we win at a national championship level. You saw that last year, and we were close a couple other times. Winning is great. Winning's the ultimate, but there's more. But this is Missouri, and there's more to it here. We graduate our young men in the classroom. Our kids will operate with great academic integrity and compete with the same passion in the classroom. And we are part of a community, just like the community is a part of us. I told our guys last night that we're here to win rings, earn diplomas, and make a big impact on those around us. This is bigger than basketball, and that's a special opportunity we all have. As you all know, I played and coached for Coach Stewart. It may be 2014, but smart, disciplined, hard-nosed team basketball never goes out of style. That's the only way we know how to do it here. That style of play embodies our state and our fans, and that's what we are going to try to bring back. When I arrived at Central Missouri 12 years ago, I saw a program with great tradition and great support, but it was searching for an identity. Today, I see something very similar at Missouri. We have all the ingredients to compete at the highest levels and play championship basketball. We just have to get everyone moving in the same direction again and bring back the same principles of teamwork, team-first basketball, defense, and passion that made us so successful. I'm not really a long-winded guy, at least not today. So I'm almost done here, but anytime a new coach comes in, there'll be some questions. I understand that. I know there'll be a lot of questions. I've heard some of them already about my age, my ability to recruit, our staff, and my Division I head coaching experience. These are some of the things I've learned in the past 24 hours. Apparently, I'm old. I really had no idea of that until yesterday. And I got to tell you, it devastated me. I didn't think I was old. I work out every day. I'm in pretty good shape. Hey, I'm not playing, you guys. I'm not playing. I'm just coaching. Old ball players coach, okay? And that's what we do. Recruiting relationships don't change. We recruit at a high level because people trusted us with their sons and their players. We recruited and signed Division I caliber players at the University of Central Missouri because of relationships and connections. We won a lot of games against some very good coaches and players. I'm not saying the University of Central Missouri is the University of Missouri, okay? Don't forget, we won the national title last year after adding 10 new players, so we did a pretty good job on the recruiting trail. But one of the most important things in recruiting goes back to your core values. You're going to love those young men as your own. You're going to coach them every day in your life, and you're going to demand to get the best out of them so that they can reach their true potential. That's recruiting. Staff, we are going to recruit, I promise you, one of the best coaching staffs in America to Mizzou. I had a chance to speak with Tim, Brian, and Toby, Tim Fuller, Brian Tabaldi, and Toby Lane last night, and look forward to talking with them more as we formulate our staff. We just met yesterday, but this is going to be a program with a strong foundation rooted in our student athletes and our staff. We will hire staff that can attract elite Division I talent and a staff that can develop them in all aspects of life. My Division I head coaching experience. I was at Central Missouri for 12 years. And as many of you know, UCM has a better job than a lot of Division I programs in the country. I had chances to look elsewhere, but working at UCM has made me more prepared today for this job than I was in 1999. My time at Central Missouri is an asset. In closing, I'm excited to be your head basketball coach. This is a dream come true for me and my family. There's no place on earth I would rather be than Columbia, Missouri. And there's no other group of players I would rather work with than our current roster wearing the black and gold. I thank all of you for being here today as we start an exciting new era of Tiger basketball. And thanks for bringing me home.
Coach Michael Coleman out of Kansas City, KCTV5. I spoke to one of your former teammates yesterday, Clay Johnson, and he had talked about the influence that Coach Stewart had on you. In fact, he said we used to tease him and say he was the son of Norm Stewart. So could you talk about the influence Coach Stewart's had on your career?
First of all, Clay Bird can jump higher than any of us former players that are in this room right now. I know that. Coach Stewart obviously has had a tremendous impact on my career as a player and as a coach. You know, he taught me so many things, not just basketball, and which is obviously what I want to try to do here. the people always ask me, what did Coach Stewart teach, what's the one thing? If there's one thing I always say about Coach Stewart is he taught me how to survive. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But he taught me how to get up when I fell down. He taught me how, when I had disappointments, to get back up and keep going. And I think, that's, if there's one word I've always talked about Coach, that's it.
We talked about you taking this job, and if the opportunity availed itself, would you? And you didn't think so at that time because of the current dynamics and what was going on at the university. What changed to bring you to this podium at this time?
Well, I think the word I used was climate, right? And since then, winter has changed over into spring. So, just a change in the climate. No, I think, and Mike could answer that question probably better than me, but I really think for this time, I think I was the right fit. Obviously, winning a national championship was key, and I'm so grateful for those young men that I was able to coach. But I think this is just the right time. It's just the right fit.
A lot of people, you referenced it when you first came up. They've hired 3 coaches since you were last here. How many times in the last 15 years did you think you'd never get this chance?
Every day. I mean, I always hoped I would. But you know what, Gabe? In 1999, I was obviously a lot younger. But as I look back, I left coaching for a while and went to the Big 12. And as I look back, and I'm not saying this to brown nose the AD, I wouldn't have hired me either in 1999. I wasn't ready. I don't think I was prepared to run a basketball program. I think there were just a lot of things I still needed to learn. And we talk about the time I spent with the Big 12 was unbelievable for me because I had like all access to all those coaches, Bobby Knight, Rick Barnes, Roy Williams, and Kelvin Sampson, Larry Eustace, all those guys. And I really got to learn a lot about basketball in those 3 years. And that certainly helped me as I went forward and went to the University of Central Missouri.
Hey, Coach. Todd Palmer, Kansas City Star. Obviously your name came out last Monday, so can you share what this week has been like, kind of waiting to hear if you were going to be the guy?
I had a real good idea about 2:30 yesterday that, this is my first, major coaching search. There's a lot of moving parts, I think, in a coaching search. There's just a lot of things that go on. But I was actually contacted a week ago, last Saturday. I was riding my bike on the Katy Trail near Windsor, Missouri. I don't know if any of you have been to Windsor. There's a little caboose there, and you can, ride on the trail. And my phone rang, and it was the search firm. I didn't know that at the time. And I turned around. I was near a town called Bryson, Missouri. And all there is a house. There's just a house. There's nothing else. There's just a house. And I rode back, and I got my car, and I had to go to the Windsor High School parking lot so my cell service would work. And that was my first contact with the search firm. And from that point on, it just kind of evolved during the week. I interviewed with Mike on Thursday at my house in Warrensburg, and I had the opportunity to visit with the chancellor on Saturday. And then from that point on, it was just kind of going through the rest of the channels. Well, and I really haven't. I had a little bit of time yesterday with our guys. I don't ever really try to use the word rebuilding. I think hopefully it's a reloading. Obviously, we lost a lot of players and some really key players, but You know, we have some great young men. I'm looking forward to getting to know them better, getting to work with them, getting to watch them play. I think we'll have a good basketball team, and we're not done recruiting yet either. So at this point, I'm really optimistic and just excited to be here and have the opportunity.
Passion to the high schoolers who will come in that you will recruit to play here at Missouri?
Well, I hope by style. I hope our style of basketball. I really want to play an aggressive, hard-nosed, passionate, energized style of basketball, and it's really all. I mean, I don't want to disappoint some of you, but there's some of you that are old enough in here that watch me play, and I really try to. My teams, I try to have my teams play the way that I played, whether that was good or bad. It was kind of messy at times, but I really want my teams to play aggressively, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to guard somebody. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you I don't want to be 48 to 45. I don't want that. I want our guys to push the basketball. I want them to play with pace, but I want them to be efficient, and that to me is the key. Fundamentally sound. Don't make stupid mistakes, but we are going to try to guard, and I think we have the talent and the athletic ability to be a good defensive team, just from what I've seen on tape so far.
Kim, Chris Trevino, KOMU TV, Tiger Radio Network.
Channel 8.
Thank you. Congratulations. You get us in Warrensburg, I think. When you left here 15 years ago, did you think this day would come?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I'm and not. There's so many things that have to happen for a guy like me to be the head coach at one of the greatest universities in the country, and I think maybe the stars lined up or whatever, but and not that I didn't think I could do it, or not that I thought I got slighted or anything like that. My deal, I just felt like that I probably wouldn't get that chance, and especially a lot of you throwing out the age factor now, so I wasn't sure I'd ever get the chance. But Chris, you've known me a long time, so I'm tremendously proud to be up here, excited, emotional, but this is a great day for me.
Kim, Dave Matter with the Post-Dispatch. You mentioned that Central Missouri was kind of in a similar place that you see Missouri now when you took over. Can you kind of elaborate just on your perspective of what this program is right now and kind of the challenges you might face right off the bat?
Well, and you know what, I may say something that people don't like. There've been some pretty damn good coaches come through here the last 3 times. I mean, I'd like to have their records. I mean, they really. But I think what we're searching for is hopefully an identity, a style, a brand, whatever term we want to use, so that when they think of Missouri basketball, they think of hard-nosed, good defense, efficient offensively, fundamentally sound, good kids, graduate, go to class, good in the community. Missouri people. That's what we are. That's what we are. We're Missouri people. And that's the way I want our basketball team to be. I got to do some math because I'm pretty old. I think when I started coaching, which would have been with Coach Stewart back in the 80s, and I thought, as I got more into coaching, I was like, someday I'd like to be the head coach at Missouri. And so it's been a dream of mine for a long time. It's been something I've worked for a long time. But I've had an awful lot of help. Let me tell you. You know, obviously my family, but you know, just all the people that have supported me over the years and have, you know, helped me. Because I'm not the best coach in the country. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. I'm not. I could steal though from anybody. I mean, I can watch TV. My staff at Central Missouri used to cringe every day. They didn't even want me to watch TV at night because they knew I'd come in the next day with some play or some deal. And I've just had so many people help me.
Kim, Ashley Zavala, Comcast Sports Southeast.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. What was you mentioned the conversation you had with your players yesterday. What was that like, and what's their sentiment?
That was hard. You know, still hard. I think when, you know, and it's kind of what we all want to do, I think, when we coach, but when you get 15 guys or something, and we weren't the best team in the country, and I'm not saying we're the best coach team, but we weren't the best team in the country. But you know, when you can bring guys together, and when guys want to be brought together, and they want to strive for, they'll give up anything to win a championship. You know, that's pretty special. And I told my guys I'd be back, you know, whenever I get a chance, and I'll hug them then.
Coach Justin Sampson from KQTV in St. Joe. Hate to make you talk about those guys more.
Griffins.
Yes, absolutely. Your national title run, obviously well-timed with the job coming open. You've got your connections here clearly, but you mentioned it was a largely new team. You win the Sweet 16 game in overtime. You win the Final Four game by a bucket close to the buzzer. If you believe the national title run played its role in this, it was that close to not happening. Have you thought of that at all?
Yeah. You're a Bearcat. You got a little Bearcat in you, right? How about that shot Deshaun Cooper took from half court? I'm looking right at that, and I'm thinking, start the bus because we're going back to the Berg, you know. And then, you know, in the regional, in the Elite Eight, the last shot against Metro State, you know, the guy had a pretty good look. And you know, you win championships through a lot of different ways, and one of them is luck. But I've been on the other side too. You know, I've been on the other side where I've been up and they got me. So certainly, you know, I think our guys were really focused during that time period. But you got to have a little bit of luck too.
Kim, hey, Darren Hellwedge with KBIA Radio. You addressed this a little bit earlier, but a lot of the reaction to your hiring is centered around the fact that UCM was a Division II school. How much of a difference is there, Division II, Division I?
Well, great question. When I went to Central Missouri 12 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing, which is a good reason that they didn't hire me here in 1999. But when I went there, I learned something quickly, and that is Division II basketball. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're not Missouri, we're not Kentucky, or we're not, you know, Florida or whatever. But Division II basketball in many cases is really Division I. You're just playing in Division II. And, you know, we told recruits that a lot. Hey, you know, you can go Division I if you want. You can go play at a lower level Division I school if you want. But you aren't going to win a championship, you know. A lot of the guys I'd recruit, you know, I always felt like they'd come into my office singing One Shining Moment, you know, because they thought they were going to go play Division I and be on One Shining Moment. But, you know, at our level, we have good players. We don't have all Division I players, but we have good players. and they're good, great coaches. And so from that standpoint, I think it was a great challenge for me, and it was a great learning experience for me, going up against some really good coaches.
Joe Waljasper from the Columbia Tribune.
Hi, Joe.
How you doing?
We can finally talk.
We do. To what extent do you think the fact that you know the terrain around here so well, know the high school coaches, et cetera, could be an advantage for you over, someone from the outside who's just learning all this new?
Well, I've been in the state, for most of my life, and I think I've developed some good relationships with coaches and the people in the state. But I think I have to do better. I think I have to, I have to continue to reach out to people, because I think that's the lifeline for a program. You got to have good relationships. I definitely think it helps, but I think I've got to continue to work on all that.
Coach Marcus Wilkins, Mizzou Alumni Magazine. There are those who have downplayed the significance of being an alumnus for you. How will that help you here at Mizzou?
Well, I think that being an alum of the school that you're coaching, I think says a lot for the quality of education for your school. I did graduate here twice, and I just, I think I can speak from the perspective that this is my school. Here's where I see you going if you come to school here. I think it's only a positive. I didn't answer that one very good. Okay.
Mitchell Furman, Columbia, Missourian. From the second you got the job yesterday, what did you do? What did it feel like?
Well, it's a tremendous feeling. I found out that I had officially been hired. I think it was around 2:15 or so, 2:20. I immediately got my team together and met with them, and then jumped in the car and came up here, and it was great. I got a chance to meet with our team here, and it was a pretty exciting ride from Warrensburg to Columbia, to be able to think that you were going to be the head coach of your alma mater and the University of Missouri.
Coach, we're going to take two more here, one from Steve, and then we'll go to Gabe for the last one.
Steve Valentik with the Columbia Tribune. What was the meeting with current players like yesterday, and what was their reaction to you?
Oh, it was good. It was my first chance to really meet them. We played last year. My Central Missouri team played last year. I think they're like any young person. I'm sure they're apprehensive. I'm sure they're looking up there and thinking, what's this guy? What's he like? But I hope in the next few days and before school's out, I know school ends pretty quick, that we have an opportunity. I know we'll have an opportunity to sit down and get to know each other. And I basically told them that my expectations and what we expected them to do for the rest of the semester. The most important thing now is to finish school, take care of your academic responsibilities. We do a little bit of basketball and then get ready for the summer, and we'll kind of get into it full speed then.
Kim, there is an impression among this fan base for the last 15 years that there is maybe a divide between Coach Stewart and his era and the last 15 years of Missouri basketball and even administration. Number one, has that existed in your opinion? And number two, how much, if so, does this kind of help, bridge that gap?
Well, if there was a divide, I don't necessarily think there was one. So from that standpoint, the only thing I would say, if there was one, there's not one anymore.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Hey again, thank you all. for being here. And the one thing I did want to ask is that all of you that have tickets to the games that sit down there below where the yellow, all that yellow is, would you please come to the game? Okay? And if you don't want to come, I understand. I understand there's other things going on. But for God's sake, give the ticket to somebody. Okay? Thank you.